What's going on, everyone? Long time no see. It's Dylan or Orange Sausage or MV Parrot or whatever you want to call me at this point in life. But I just wanted to sit down and kind of like record a vlog, almost like a kind of like an introspective thing, like a 2018 recap, I guess. It's been a while since I've done a vlog or like a pre-recorded thing of any sort. So like if I don't look at the camera, it's because I'm thinking, and all of this is going to be coming off the top of the dome. This is probably just going to be a lot of rambling. It's not going to be a high energy video. It's 1 in the morning right now, and I just wanted to sit down and kind of like put some thoughts on virtual paper, because that's basically what a vlog is, right? It's like writing down thoughts on virtual paper. Um, but yeah, 2018. It's been a year. 2018 happened. That happened. Um, it's been up and down. It's been a roller coaster of different things. I gave YouTube Minecraft another try towards the beginning of this year. Fell through again because at the end of the day, no matter how many times I try to record Minecraft or play Minecraft or make Minecraft content, it boils down to I just don't have fun with the game. The content feels forced. It seems forced. Anyone that's watching it could probably tell that I'm not having a good time. It's hard to make content on something that you're really not enjoying at all. So I gave Minecraft a go. I gave it again because, all in all, at the end of the day, that's what got my channel to where it's at now. So I didn't want to just completely abandon it. And I know I've said I'm going to abandon it on multiple occasions, but this time it's for real. Minecraft is done. I privated all my videos. There are no videos up on the channel right now. When this goes up, this will literally probably be the only one that's public right now. And if you see a weird name and you decided to click this video on your sub box, you saw a weird name, MV Parrot, hey, it's me, it's Warran Sausage. Going through another rebranding. I know I said I've attempted several rebrandings over the year, but this is the one I'm done with. If you look that way, that's what it should be on the recording. That's my new branding, logo and everything. The MV Parrot switch is done. If you don't keep up with me on Twitter, then you would know that, but if you do, you know what went down, and you know that I've been focusing more on Twitch and stuff lately. So I got the new branding and everything so I could focus on Twitch and do stuff that got me away from Minecraft. Warran Sausage is my child. It's the channel that I've been doing for the past, I guess, 4 or 5 years now at this point. I don't know how long it's been exactly, but it is my child, and I think it was just time to move away from it, because with the Orange Sausage name came like the expectation to record Minecraft and record with certain people and do different things. So I think by getting rid of that, it was just me branching away and kind of separating myself from that scene and getting more focused on something that I actually want to do, which is just variety content in general. And if anybody even watches this, I doubt I even have a viewership on YouTube at this point. If anybody wants to stay sub, cool. I'll be doing variety content. I don't know how much I'll be focusing on YouTube, but I'll put some content up on here every now and then. But really, I'm just focusing on the Twitch thing, and that's kind of where my mindset and my entertainment, my enjoyment's been over the past several months. Started out earlier this year, and like the past month or so, since maybe early November, it's become a thing that's come more to fruition as something I'm doing, just enjoying streaming again. It's been great. There's a vastly different, trying to figure out how to phrase this. There's a vastly different level of creative power between YouTube and Twitch. YouTube things feel a lot more forced. It's like you got to put the energy in to make the content and perfect it and do it in as little takes as possible. But there's something exciting and a whole new set of creative boundaries when you're on Twitch, because everything is live. You're putting together a show, basically, a live show. If you make errors, they're going to be there. You basically just get to interact with your audience and come up with stuff on the spot and enjoy playing games. And there's something very satisfying about that. The fact that it's so raw and uncut. that just satisfies me. And excuse me, I enjoy that a lot more than YouTube. That being said, YouTube's also becoming an increasingly worse platform for content creators as the years go by. I think YouTube might be in its worst spot it's ever been in. But the site's just fucking itself over. I have no enjoyment using the platform anymore. I watch a few creators specifically on YouTube, but that's it. Most of my attention, even on the viewing end of things as a consumer, instead of the content creation side, just as a viewer purely, has been transferred over to Twitch. And I think that says a lot about how bad YouTube is, because YouTube used to be the only thing I'd watch. I used to not enjoy live streams, but like now, even as a viewer, Twitch is such a good platform for any and everything, specifically gaming, but they've got everything now. It's such a good platform for all of that that's where all my focus as both a creator and a consumer go. So, and some people might ask, why don't you just try streaming on YouTube? I don't like YouTube streaming. It's terrible. If you enjoy it, I'm sorry, but YouTube streaming is just terrible. I don't like the interface. I just don't like YouTube streaming as a platform as a whole. I think Twitch has the better market for it, the better interface. I think Twitch just fits the bill for what I would want out of as a viewer and as a creator. So I really think Twitch is just keeps moving itself up the rankings in the social media market, because at the end of the day, Twitch is still social media. So I think it's really starting to get up there and take the cake. I would not be surprised if live content just becomes the norm several years down the road, and YouTube's kind of just a thing of the past because they continue to fuck themselves over so much. And no one has really come on the scene to try to be like a real competitor for YouTube. There's no real YouTube competition. Like, Twitch has their video uploading, but it's not the greatest, and it's never going to be something that rivals YouTube unless they make some drastic changes. But nothing really tries to rival YouTube. But I think the fact that Twitch is pushing such big numbers and so many people are starting to switch over there as a dedicated thing just says a lot for how good Twitch is as a platform. I don't think it necessarily relates to the fact that YouTube's going downhill, but I think it just speaks volumes for how good of a platform Twitch actually is. So that's basically the gist of that. That's where I'm at as far as content creation and posting things to this channel and streaming and where you can find me and all that stuff is. But let's just, now that that's out of the way, let's take a minute to talk about my year. Because that's really what this video is just going to be. It's just, I told my friend Tommy that I was going to sit down and record this and just try to keep it raw, and it's just going to be ramblings and a content creator I watch on YouTube, King Nappy the Great, whatever you want to call him. He's a PokeTuber. He kind of did one of these raw videos, and it just got me thinking that I kind of wanted to do just like an introspective thing where I'm just like thinking and rambling thoughts and just keep it as raw as possible and see where it goes. I've got my Twitch overlay on. I didn't even full screen the vlog because I don't like my webcam quality. I need to get a new one. But we're just keeping it real and keeping it raw. But what did I do this year? Aside from the whole YouTube thing, starting out and then switching to Twitch, went on a couple trips this year. Back in March, I went to San Diego, California. In case you all know, I live around Atlanta in Georgia, if you didn't know or anything. But I did go to San Diego to visit my friend Tommy, and I think San Diego might be the single greatest place on planet Earth. I spent about a week there, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I want to move out there very badly. And that's kind of one of my 2019 goals, is to like set up a foundation so I can actually move out there, because I love the place so much. It's just a phenomenal place. If you've never been, just go. Food's great, view's great, weather's great, the people are nice. It's just, you really have to visit it for yourself to realize how good of a place it is. And I'm sure it's not for everybody, but for me in particular, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But that trip was great. I also went out of the country for the first time. I spent like 5 days in Toronto. Canada's not bad. Got to see Niagara Falls. That's really all I'm going to say about that trip. Wasn't the greatest trip I've ever had, but Canada's pretty cool. I'd probably go back to Toronto and experience it differently than I did the first time, but that's just where we're going to leave that one. Um, Anything else exciting happened in my life? I became the manager at my job, managing 2 stores and several employees, and that's been going well. So, focus a lot of my time on my work and stuff. But yeah, as far as like just simple life updates, that's pretty much all it boils down to. But let's take a second to talk now that I've got the complete updates and everything out of the way. I changed a lot as a person in 2018. Um, Met a lot of people, lost several people along the way, but there's a lot of change. I think 2018 is one of the years where I really started finding myself as a person. Um, I think a few years back, in case you guys remember, I had a girlfriend. We were together for 6 years on and off, and a lot of my life was like formulated and molded by that relationship. So a couple years back when that ended, I think I was so used to that relationship and that area of my life that like I lost who the old Dylan was, and I was when I got out of that relationship. Trust me, I'm much happier since I got out of it. I'm not sad about it at all. I don't think I ever really was, but I think when you spend that long with one specific person and you have that way of life, you tend to get in a groove. And I think I had molded myself into that groove, and it honestly took a while for me to get out of it. I think this year was the first time, and since it happened a couple years ago, that I really started like finding myself again. I don't even remember when it happened, honestly. It's I think February will be 2 years since Paige and I broke up. But I think I lost myself for a while there, and I think this year has been me really just trying to dig deep down and find myself. And I know I've pissed some people off along the way. I know I've done some stupid shit. I know I've made mistakes, but like all of those are learning opportunities and growth opportunities, and people that don't want to go through those down times with you and be there to support you and like understand that like mentally you're trying to get it together and change and everything. I don't think they're worth having in your life if they can't support that you're trying to grow. Um, I really think it's important to focus on yourself. Like, yes, you can worry about others and stuff, but I think at the end of the day, you really need to put yourself first. And I have my window open. Sorry if you hear any traffic noises come through. But at the end of the day, I don't think enough people put themselves first, in all honesty. Like, I truly don't. And that's for the majority of 2018, up until the last few months. I really wasn't putting myself first. I was putting other people way too highly on a list of shit that I cared about. In the past few months, now that I've really started to put myself first, I'm sure people have noticed that I've been different and I haven't been around as much or just whatever, and it's just because I'm focusing on what makes me happy and getting to a point where I find Dylan again and I find my inner self. And like that might not make much sense at face value, but like you can lose yourself in like who you are and become someone that you're not. And I think a good portion of this year I was someone that I wasn't, and my focus was not in the right spot and my headspace was not in the right spot. And the past few months focusing on myself, I've really started to find happiness again and become confident and happy with myself and just being my own person and whatnot. I think another thing that stems into that conversation is mental health is not a joke. Mental health is not a joke. I have struggled with depression and anxiety. I struggle with anxiety on an almost daily basis, and I have for the past 5-6 years roughly. And I've had my depressive spells, and there's been several points of this year where I just lost all hope and thought there was nothing to live for. And it's mental health is it's not it's not easy to talk about. Like it's not easy to admit that you struggled or you are struggling or you were struggling, but I think it's one of those things that gets overlooked too much, and there's a stigma around it. People don't really want to talk about it, but it's something that you should really focus on. And if you can find it in yourself, if you are struggling, if you can find it in yourself to go get some help, some therapy, whatever it is, don't let the fact that mental health kind of gets scoffed upon. Just don't let that deter you. If you need help, go get help. That doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you any less of a human. It just makes you normal, and it's great that you would want to improve yourself enough to seek professional help or whatever, but check on your friends. Check on your friends and your family. At face value, people can seem like they're doing all right. They can seem like they're happy and everything's going good, but and they may not want to talk about it, but like it's cool to just like check in on your friends and be like, hey, how you been? Just wanted to let you know that I'm here for you, and if you ever need to talk about anything, you can always come to me, and I'm here for whatever you need or whatever. So it's good to just put that out there and make it known to your friends and your loved ones that you're there if you ever need anything. Because like a big thing with mental health is sometimes you just feel like you have no one but yourself, and sometimes you don't even feel like you have yourself. It just feels empty. I know that sounds kind of whack, but like more traffic noises, but this is raw. That's how we're doing it. I don't think there's a good way I can put it, but like it's just a feeling that you don't understand unless you've been there. And I was there. I've been there multiple times over the past few years, a lot this year especially. It's been a rough year, but at the end of it, I've never been a person that liked change. I've always been a person that just likes going with the flow and sticking to my routine. But I've changed a lot as a person this year, and I realized finally that change is not a bad thing. I think change is necessary. It is completely necessary if you want to grow as a person and better yourself. And for once in my life, I finally started focusing on things I needed to change. I've lost a lot of weight over the past couple years. This year, I really worked on communicating my thoughts, feelings, and my problems. Because I've always been really bad about bottling things up, and if there was confrontation to be had, or if I had problems with anybody or stuff I needed to figure out, I would just completely ignore it and let it bottle up until it drive me fucking insane. So this year I really worked on communicating with people. I think that's a big thing. Whether it be friendships, professional relationships, intimate relationships, anything like that. I think communication is something everybody can work on. Nobody's perfect at it, but it's definitely one of the aspects that lacks in a lot of people. And I'm really proud of how far I've come with my communication skills and finally not being scared to open up about things and ask questions and confront things in like a civil manner that ends up working out better and your mental space gets cleared and all that stuff. The scary thing about communication though is that like it's necessary, but it's not always going to turn out in your favor. There have been plenty of times where I had to communicate things or figure things out or ask or just vent or whatever it is, and it just didn't turn out how I thought it would, didn't turn out how I wanted it to. But it's just one of those things you got to roll with the punches and just keep pressing forward, whether it turns out how you wanted it to or not. Because in life, you're obviously not going to get everything you want, and you're just going to have to deal with that and look at it as like a growth or like a learning experience or something, and just roll with the punches. Communication, everything, and it's just roll with the punches. But yeah, communication is something I improved on a lot, and I think that's helped my mental state a lot. Instead of bottling things up until it drove me insane from anxiety or stress or whatever, actually getting it out there. The build up to it, it's a lot of anxiety. The build up to actually doing the communicating you need to do and taking care of things like a normal human being in a civil manner. The anxious build up is there, but once you put those feelings and thoughts on the table, it's a very, very big relieving feeling. And I think a lot of people overlook how important that can be to not bottle things up like that. I know my voice probably sounds like shit, but like I said, I'm just keeping it quiet and raw. It's super low energy. It's honestly nice to sit in front of a microphone and a webcam again and just chat. Especially like this, just chatting about shit, getting things off my mind and my chest. And I've had a lot of stuff bottling up this week and just going through my brain. My brain constantly thinks and moves and worries about shit that it doesn't need to. So it's good to have an outlet for that every now and then, but kind of where I'm at with it. I really think that's it. Goals for 2019. I want to keep the Twitch thing up. Links somewhere. I'm not gonna fucking pimp out my Twitch in a rant video, but twitch.tv/mvparrot if you ever want to hang out or check me out. You might not be a Twitch person. You might just be a YouTube person, but give it a chance. At least just give it a chance. Twitch is fun, and it's something that I enjoy. And if you enjoy me as a person or a creator, just stop by a couple streams, drop a follow or whatever. But I'm going to be doing a lot of Twitch in 2019. I'm going to be working on getting moved out of Georgia and into San Diego or wherever I decide to end up. But it's time to put that as a focus, and I'm going to continue focusing on making myself happy and being content and confident in myself and my abilities and my creative ingenuity and my ability to work or whatever it is that I can find in myself that I appreciate, the better qualities of myself that I like. I'm going to continue to put focus on those and try to be the best version of myself possible. Try not to set my expectations too high for myself because I truly have commitment issues. I could write a book on commitment issues at this point. But I don't want to set my expectations too high. But that's just kind of things that like are going through my head and my mind and things that I want to improve. So when December 28th, 27th, whenever the fuck this gets uploaded, rolls around of 2019, I can look back on this video and kind of be like, did I get there? Did I do what I was going to say I was going to do? Or did I bitch out with my commitment issues like I always do? But I think these videos are good as kind of like a documentation on what I'm feeling right now and what I felt over this year. And there's a lot of very specific, very, very specific instances and things that I left out because those are just better left unsaid in a public video. Everybody has their demons. I can put some of mine out here, but it's not necessary for me to put them all out. But there are definitely some things I left out that affected me for the better or the worse, just depending on how you want to take it. But it's always good to have these introspective kind of talks with yourself. And I know I'm having this talk with whoever's watching it, but it's really just for myself. And I wanted to air out my fucking dirty laundry on YouTube because I feel like it's easier to talk about things and talk to yourself when you're talking to an audience. Because I can kind of like, I guess, shove some of the nerves into the camera instead of just like having the inner conversation in my head or whatever. So it feels good to have these introspective videos and something I can look back on next year and be like, where am I at 365 days after I posted this or whatever. So it's really just a documentation thing here and just something where I could vent or whatever. But that felt good. That felt really good to just talk like that and express some things. But I think that's where I'm going to stop my ramblings for now. Miss all you guys on the YouTube. Come hang by on Twitch if you ever want to stop by and say hey. I'd love to see some of you. But on that note, Parrot, Sausage, Dylan, whatever the fuck you want to call me, is deucing out. Laters.